Alright, hi everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. If you can, I've changed my microphones around a bit in the last couple days. I'm testing some new things, so please say hello in the chat if you can hear me. And I can see, based on what I'm watching, that there's a bit of a delay in what I'm saying. Oh, hi Ruth! And what I'm doing on my screen. So, bear with me if you guys are chatting and I'm not noticing right away. It just means there's a bit of a delay. So if you can hear me, say yes, so that I know that I'm not just talking to myself. And in the meantime, I'm gonna get my camera straightened out a bit better so that it doesn't look sideways. Okay, thanks Jane. Yes, you can replay this later. I'll record it and then it will be posted, I don't know, later this afternoon in an hour or two after I'm done. Thanks, Jody. Yes, the weather's been intense. I'm in Chicago. We were supposed to, at one point, supposed to get like 12 inches of snow, and then it turned into about 2 inches of snow, but the one day our high was -1 Fahrenheit, so that was terrible. Didn't leave the house a whole lot. So, how is everybody? We survived the holidays, most of them. New Year's is still coming. I thought today I would just play on a big piece of paper because I'm still recovering. Not physically, just like mentally trying to figure out what's going on. Hi Jane, thanks. I'm really excited because my husband gave me a surprise gift of a new like video camera that I can use hopefully to do my lives, to have it be just better so I'm not just using my cell phone all the time. My cell phone quality is pretty great, so that's nice, but it would allow me just to have my system set up and not have to keep undoing it every time, which would be wonderful. But we're still working out some kinks, so stay tuned on that. So this is just the regular way today. Let's see. I'm going to start out with some neutrals and maybe this. All right. I'm going to start gluing some of these things down and we'll see what happens. Hi Kathy, thanks for joining us. How's the weather in Ontario? You guys must be faring about as well as us, or worse. Although the sun is shining today, so I can't complain. Well, I could complain, but I won't. I've been trying to use this for a while, so I'm just going to put this down. Lots of snow, oh my goodness. Well, congratulations on getting dug out. Yeah, my kids were terribly disappointed that we didn't get the snow that was predicted. They were ready, they were outside when we had about a ½ inch, and it was still very cold, trying to make snow angels and snowmen, and realize after about 10 minutes of freezing that they would come back in and try again later. It's hard to wait when you're a kid, right? I think that's one of the signs of adulthood. Like once you realize you're really an adult, when you look at the snow and go, ugh, instead of yay. Although sledding is very fun, so we do like sledding over here. This is from, it's funny when I do these, I don't know if you guys do this with collage paper, but I always like have the memories associated. I'm kind of a sentimental sap. Sorry about that noise. This paper is actually from one of my good friends sent me flowers this summer after we were involved in that horrible parade shooting in Highland Park. So that part's not a good memory, but the good memory is that she's such a sweetheart and sent me flowers. So thanks, Heather. All right. And as many of you probably know, I'm going to do this big sheet, and then a little bit later, I will most likely be cutting it up into small pieces. And you can probably hear my children. Good morning, Sue from Australia. Oh no. See, whether it's hot or cold, there's just lots of weather happening right now, right? Oh, I'm sorry for your heat alert. Yeah, I know. If only we could send some. You know, I'm really tall. I'm 6'2", and my short friends are always like, can I just have a couple inches of height? And I'm like, oh man, I wish I could give you some. Then I'd get pants. It'd be much easier for me to find jeans if I could give a few inches out. All right. My kids will probably be audible in the background. They're going a little stir crazy, and we're only 3 days into their 2 weeks off school. So pray for me. My husband's off this week, and then he goes back to work on Monday. So I'm on my own. I have to figure out some fun things to do with them, which there are tons of fun things, but some low energy fun things because this mom is tired. Oh, I don't love New Year's as a holiday necessarily, but I love a new year from a goal setting perspective. There are definitely years I never look at my goals again till the following year. But I do find that even just writing them gets me, I don't know, I'm excited. I don't know if it's like, I used to get excited about, like the first week of school and all the new school supplies. Maybe it's the adult version of that, I'm not sure. But I love a crisp new beginning. Is anyone else into big time goal setting? I guess by big time I just mean like structured. Do you have a structured approach? Do you set goals? Do you not set goals? It doesn't have to be artistic goals. You set any personal goals, career goals. You know what? Sue, from a word of the year standpoint, I've done that a couple times, and I do like that. This year, I read something, and gosh, if I can remember what it was. I don't remember what the quote is, and of course my phone is recording, so I can't check my phone. But basically it talked about like you've used all of your skills to this point to survive. Now it's time to use them to thrive. And I was like, ooh, thrive. So I'm considering, and that's kind of when it locked in for me. I was like, okay, thrive would be a great word of the year. Because my kids are kind of in school kind of regularly now, that they've been sick a lot. So I've been thinking about using that word thrive, just to remind me that there's no need to settle. Another goal. plan to do more, or, you know, I guess I'd even be, just to enjoy things, to not try so hard to just show up, but to enjoy all of the blessings that I have. Do you have a word for the year, Sue? For 2023? I'm not the best with consistency. I shouldn't say that. I'm really good at doing things every day or not at all. I'm not good at like an every other day kind of thing. So sometimes my goals get lost. Ooh, intentional. I like that. That's another really good one. So I'm not good at like an every other day or like a check-in once a month type thing because I just forget. It just gets lost. I definitely have ADHD tendencies, even though I try not to. And those things just are not, I have other strengths, let's put it that way. Oh, artist and gardener, so I always have goals. That's great. What do you have in your garden, Kathy? My husband has been making a bunch of changes in our garden the past couple years. And it is changing from a whole bunch of weeds and ivy to a beautiful space of irises and hydrangea and daffodils, which are some of my favorites. Simplify. Ooh, that's good. Did it help? So you said it was a great focus. Did it help you to simplify, to focus on that word? How did that show up this past year? Let's see here. Here's something that my kids drew. This may smear all over because I think it was with washable markers. Oh, pretty, Kathy. There's something just, oh, yep, here we go. Here's the smearing. That's okay. This is when we just let it go and pretend that this is exactly what we had intention. See, intentional, right? This was not intentional, but I can make it work. And now it should be locked in there since I used medium to seal that. Okay. Well, I'll put this on and then I'm gonna do some mark making and then I will get the paints out. Oh, trees. What kind of trees? We have what used to be a beautiful Japanese maple, and then a few years ago we had some crazy winter polar vortex thing that killed about half of it. So after we've trimmed it now, it's very lopsided and, you know, not as beautiful as it once was. Oh, that's nice, Sue. I'm glad that Simplify helped. So what do you do with your word? Do you like post it in front of just keep it in front of your face all year? Or do you just remember it? Or how do you keep it at the forefront? Oh, I just realized I don't have any baby wipes. 1 second, guys. Oh, that end back. Got my baby wipes. I can't wipe off my media, or my medium. Magnolia, beach, redbuds, evergreens. Oh, it's pretty. We have a big magnolia tree in our front yard. And it is beautiful. Okay, what did I say? I said mark making. So I'm just going to use my China marker. And when I do this, it's just easier if I close my eyes. Because otherwise, I feel like I judge myself the whole time and it's not unique enough, or it's, you know, shouldn't be this way or it should be this way. So the goal is just to get something everywhere. I have this blue colored pencil that I haven't used very often. Oh, bookmark, that's a great idea. I think I need some crayons. I'm going to use Neocolor 2 crayons so that they will intentionally smear with new paint. My goal here is just to cover this with interesting marks. Composition's not going to stay this way because I am going to be ripping it up. And you know what? I'm going to turn this upside down. And I haven't really decided what color paints I'm going to use yet, so I can just do whatever I want and adjust later. Don't mind my children. They're feeling feisty. I'm going to quickly dry this just to make sure the gloss medium is dry. Been on a yellow kick lately, so I'm going to do some yellow ochre. And again, for better or worse, I don't really have a plan. This is probably very obvious. And you can tell that there are some areas that have more media than others because this has some clear areas, and that's where the yellow is not sticking to the paper as much because there's probably some gloss medium there. So even though I'm just smearing this color around, it's still going to leave variations. the same thing, some white. Oh, Kathy, how old are your grandkids? My mom laughs when she comes over and my kids go crazy. She's like, yep, but I'm the grandma, so I don't have to deal with that part now. I just get to be like the hero who brings presents sometimes. But word around town is that it's very fun to be a grandma. 15, 16, and 9. Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm gonna blink and my kids are gonna be teenagers. You know, there's all those trite sayings like the days are long but the years are short, and you're like, yeah. And then all of a sudden your kids are old and you're like, oh my gosh, the days are so long and the years are so short. There's a reason the sayings are popular, because they're very, very true. All right, let me see if I can. I might have waited too long to do my spray, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. I never realize how squeaky my floor is until I do these lives. And then I'm constantly reminded how squeaky everything is. Did you get to see your grandkids for the holidays, Kathy? All right, well, I did get some of this to work with my splatter. So there's a little bit of subtle splatter there. It's easier to see with the black showing through, or the brown showing through. But just little touches. Do some bone black next, which is a transparent black. Where do I want this? I don't have a palette out, so I'm just gonna wing it. So this helps just to get some different tones going. And this is actually part of my golden open paints, which means that it's a slow drying paint. So not bad or good, just depends on what you want. In this case, it will allow me to do, so if I do this now, it should give me lots of bubbles. Whoa, that's a lot. All right, let's move some of this over here. Next week we'll have Christmas. Okay. Wow, how much snow did you guys get, Kathy? Sounds like quite a storm. Three feet. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is amazing. Holy smokes. You weren't kidding when you said you were digging out. You are literally digging out. Hey, Curly T. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining. So hopefully next week, or maybe even before next week, I'll have a new live system going, which may give me better functionality. Or you may not notice anything at all, but over here it might just give me some more flexibility if I don't have to use my cell phone for everything. So hopefully, at worst, you won't notice any changes. At best, maybe it looks a little nicer. We'll have to see. All right, this looks like a whole lot of... So right now I've got a lot of kind of, I would call mid-tones. Nothing's too dark or too light. There's some white peeking through here and there. I think I'll do a bit of quinacridone gold. And then I think I'm gonna, maybe I'll do black, or maybe I'll just cut it up and then do some black. So in the meantime, I'll add some warmth here. I'll do this with a white instead. Spread this around. When I first started, well, I started using the quinacridone gold. I watched Jane Davies do it for years. And I thought, why does she like that color? And I didn't really get it at all. And then one day I was like, oh, I love this color. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I think I just liked how it warmed things up. Not sure why I'm staying away from things here, but oh, what the heck, let's just color it up, shall we? And remember, when I did this, I intentionally picked kind of the water-soluble crayon. So this pink that was there is now going away. And the purple here is too, and it's kind of turning into a weird brown. But that's fine. Sometimes it's unexpected things that have the most fun. Okay, quick dryer, and then I'll cut it up. Hi Jan, how are you doing? You know what, I think I lied to you because I don't think I'm going to cut it up yet. I think I'm going to add some white. And I think the white that I'm going to add, if I can find it, is my golden titanium white. This is a heavy body. Oh dear, I don't have a whole lot of this. Let's see what I can do. Alright, so this is a heavy body white paint. So it's really thick. You can see that it's not at all going to fall off of the spatula. So it really covers things up. And the other white that I use is not very opaque. So I want this to be able to block off some color. So it really makes an impact. now that I'm doing this, wipe off my spatula here, I can also take this and just really carve some lines in here. And because it's so thick and so opaque, it really shows up. Some of the thinner areas are already drying, but thick areas will take a little bit, which is good and bad. It also means it'll take longer for me to dry with the hairdryer. You know I like a good stripe. All right, that's good. More blow drying coming up. You know what? I might do. Yep, I'm gonna dry it. Kind of a small room. And the good news is it's sunny today, but with the door closed and the hairdryer on, it gets hot quickly. Okay, my trusty yardstick. This paper is 22 by 30. So I'm going to cut this into 11 by 15. 4 11 by 15, which will be 11 by 14 basically. And I do not believe all of this paint is dry yet. So I will tread lightly. guys hear my children yelling downstairs probably. They're right underneath me. Got them video games, Nintendo Switch for Christmas, which has been great. Even my daughter, who kind of checked out when I broke out my original Nintendo from the 80s, has been into it this time, which is great. But she is not having it with my son's nonsense. And I don't blame her. Let's see here. All right, don't mind my very random Frankenstein approach to this. All right, so let's see what these look like when I separate them. And then I'll have a better idea. Oh, that's my daughter, of what I want to do or not do. Okay, so I'm noticing that there's a lot of mid-range values, which we talked about, or I talked about before. Now I've added some more white, which is helping, but there's not a ton of it. Partially because I'm doing this live and don't want to wait all day for this to dry. All right. Heads up that my son might be coming in. I hear him crying. So let's see here. All right, so I think what I need to do is add some black. I'm sure of that. And I'm going to switch this around just to remind myself that now these are 4 separate pieces. So put away the bone black. Gonna add some carbon black, which will be much darker. And now I need to decide how I want to add it. I think I'm going to add some, I think I'll do it with a brush first. Naturally, I did not, see, I cleaned off my desk to work on the other, the other project, trying to get things set up. And I did not set up my palette today, which is not intended. So let me move this around, see what marks I can get. Not sure I've actually painted it on with my squeeze bottle before, but I kind of like the marks that it left. Feels a little bit different since it's not a solid blob that I'm spreading around. Right, there's some spaces in between there. I really like the shape of this mark. Let me move these up a little bit. This is interesting. I'm not sure what to do with this side of the page, however, just got black on my elbow too. Okay, I'm achieving my goal of getting things darker. However, there's still a ton of mid-range and lighter values. Again, not that that's right or wrong. I'm just trying to decide if I like that. And I'm not sure. Sometimes my default is just that I spread things around a little bit everywhere. And one of my personal goals is just to get used to having things a bit more lopsided. And that's not a great word. It's not necessarily lopsided, but just things in right, one area of the painting and not others, just to move your eye around. Let's see. Well, I've got to say, I mean, I'm not opposed to any of these marks I'm making. So that's good news. So, you know what? I hear ya. It's entirely possible that I'm totally going to ruin all these. But then they just become really interesting backgrounds for whenever I decide I'm going to start something new from an old piece. I can 1000% relate to that feeling. But yes, I think it's good to take a break and come back with new eyes. That's definitely one thing. I've just had, the only way that I know of to kind of keep pushing through and getting more relaxed with working through it is just to keep doing it. Like anything else in life, we always wish there are shortcuts, but you have to keep doing it, and I have to keep practicing this as well. It's not like I've figured it out and I'm done practicing. There are always times that it feels harder to push on than others. I think what I'm going to do now, and my tendency, I guess, is what I'm going to do right now, is to take a minute and get some collage paper. So I'm going to do that, and what will I add? Excuse me. So I have these circles, which kind of work with this color scheme. They will for sure, right, make things a bit cloudier. Isn't necessarily a problem, just something to note. I think I'll do those up here. Exactly, Kathy. You got to kind of be pushing, and sometimes you end up thinking, I should have stopped at that last one and not pushed through that. But in my experience, I feel like most of the time, I'm like, oh, I'm glad I pushed past that and kept going. Now recently I did have one that went the other way that I was like, oh, I should have just left it. But it's not done yet, so I still haven't really figured out what it's going to be. And I'm just trusting that at the end of it, I'll be happy with it in its new form. And I think I will, because I think that deep down, right, we rarely, I don't think that we stop prematurely because we like something so much that we want to keep it exactly how it is. I think most of the time we stop because we're afraid we're going to mess it up, but we know somewhere deep down that it's not finished. Does that make sense? So like, we know we're not done with it, but we're afraid to keep going. So then it kind of lands in this weird art purgatory if we don't keep working on it, because we just leave it there and never touch it again. At least that's what I've done. So now I've been going through some of those old things that I never touched again and finish them. Whoops, that's white. And that feels really good to just come back to it. Plus, the longer you spend away from it, I feel like the less attached I am to any given piece. And anything that I thought was the cat's pajamas earlier, I have a bit more distance on. All right, I'm gonna try this here. Not sure, but the only way to find out is if I do it. If I don't like it, it's just paint. Oh, I hear another kid crying, so stay tuned again. There may be a kid bursting through my door. Hopefully they'll let my husband deal with it though. It's always an adventure trying to do these things live when my kids are home. Whoops. Okay, and then this I'll cut off later. I'm realizing too, along the lines of not wanting to mess up, that, right, even if I try this and if I decide I don't like it, 'cause I'm still undecided, worst case scenario, I have more texture and interest in my painting. Even if I cover over it, it's still there and it's still gonna be impactful on some level. It's, you know, I was never able to find wet strength tissue. I don't know if it's just called something different in the US. This is just called art tissue from Blick. So I really don't know what it is, because for some reason, whatever the, is actually called wet strength tissue was gonna cost me an arm and a leg, and I had to ship it from the UK. So this has worked perfectly fine for me. Whatever it is. And I'm not necessarily trying to finish these right now. I'm more trying to get some interesting things going, so I have something else to react to as I continue working on them. So we'll see at the end of this video how I feel about them. And maybe they're just starts, or maybe I'll cut them up into smaller pieces, or maybe I'll leave them be. My children squeaking. All right, I'll need some stripes. So I already have some stripes going vertically. I have some horizontal stripes. So now I'm deciding if I'm going to make these vertical to kind of play off of this and make it cohesive in the sense that all the stripes go in the same direction, even though these are very different stripes. Or I can make them horizontal to kind of interrupt this. But I think I like it that way. And all of these things, it's really just the decision-making process. It's right, I was noticing that I had some extra tissue that didn't have any stripes on it. So one choice would have been to cut that off before I applied it. I decided to keep it on. All of those teeny little decisions that we each make as artists are what kind of add up to creating our individual style. So Jan would make a different choice, Kathy would make a different choice, Sue would make a different choice, Curly T would make a different choice, and all of those teeny choices, even if we all had the exact same supplies, would all help us set our art apart. It's so interesting to me how again and again and again, you could put a bunch of artists in a room, give them all the same supplies, and they would continue coming up with totally different art. It's one of my favorite things about art and artists. You know, it's really not the tools, although the tools help. It's really about, you know, what's between our ears and all the decisions we make and why. I just find it fascinating. I'm all about people being themselves because we truly are irreplaceable in life. If you ever think you're not, make some art, because you'll never make the same thing that someone else would make, even if you try to copy their thing. There's so many times that just to learn what other people's process was, I tried to, you know, copy someone exactly, and it looked so simple. And you do it, and it's totally different, because even in their style, if you try to, you know, recreate their painting, one, it's not really fun. Let's be honest. If you try to recreate someone's thing and not do your own design, it's not fun. And it feels laborious, and it doesn't feel good, because you're not using your brain in a creative way. You're using your brain in a, how did they do this? And then it becomes very frustrating. But anyway, I feel like, you know, regardless of that, it's just kind of impossible to actually recreate someone else's art. Because you're you, and I'm me, and that artist is that artist. Get off my soapbox now. It's just one of those things that I just think art and creativity is kind of magical in that sense. Oh, this thing got stuck on there. Okay. You know, I think it's fine to copy someone's art if you're trying to learn a style, but I think, you know, right, if you post it somewhere or whatever, as long as you just don't claim it as yours, just say it's my take on so-and-so's art. Because we all need to learn. But it's just not as fun as making your own. Here's an example. I'm not going to put this on, but this is, if you've ever heard of LOL dolls, my daughter got some LOL dolls from somebody. Maybe she bought them herself, and I grabbed this tissue paper when she wasn't going to keep it because it was so cute. Alright, what can I do in the next few minutes to wrap these up? I don't know that I'm gonna wrap these up. I think these may just be... Oh, hi Peggy, thanks for joining. Yes, Ruth, you absolutely can learn a lot by copying artists that you love. I think copying to learn is a great thing. But I do still think it's not as much fun as, you know, so after you learn how they work, then you do your own version using you and your decisions, then it becomes a lot more fun. This needs something. All right. Some paper towels. This would be hard to see. I'm going to try and get some water on this. And it's funny, this to me almost looks like two separate paintings, right? Like this looks like one, and that looks like another. But this is much more fun and satisfying for me to see right now than it was before. All right, I'm gonna leave this one for a bit. Which one needs the most? I think this needs more warming up. Oh, nice, Jan. Good grandson. I hope you like them. I do like the golden fluid the high flow or the, I guess these are fluids, right? Yeah, so this is the fluid. Yeah, I really like it, like them. They just bring a little extra something. Okay, and you can see, since I still have all this medium on my fingers, it's now coming off because it's sticking to the medium that's there. So probably wear gloves is the lesson you can learn from me. Then you can get the gloves off and your hands will be free, and then it won't bring more to your art. Anyone else get any great art supplies for Christmas or Hanukkah? I just love going into Blick with a gift card, going after a bunch of art supplies that you feel more free to try when it's free money. Well, I think I'm going to be done for today. I like where this one's headed. This one. I'm not sure any of these are done. This one needs a little bit more work. Ooh, oil pastels. Have fun, Jody. I need to get some of those. I really want to try those big oil sticks, but I haven't done it yet. Maybe you'll be my inspiration, Jody. All right, well, I'm going to stop here today. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I hope you all get all the art supplies in the world over this holiday time and have a great fun exploring them. I hope you all have a happy new year. Oh, they are so creamy. And I will see you hopefully next week with my kids in the background because my husband will be working. Have a wonderful New Year's, everybody. Have a great time, and thanks for watching. Bye.